Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brand Your Practice podcast, where you get to learn about branding, marketing, and scaling your private practice. I'm Brent Stutzman, and today we're going to be talking about 3 solid strategies for creating a successful and sustainable private pay practice. And to help me do that is Dr. Deb Legge. She is the founder of Private Pay Practice, and for the past 26 years, Dr. Legge has helped thousands of therapists create successful, sustainable private pay practices. By teaching others the same proven strategies she uses to keep her own practice filled with 80 to 90% self-pay clients, Deb has empowered clinicians all over the country and around the globe to grow thriving, sustainable practices faster than they ever thought possible. Welcome to the show, Dr. Deb.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So we're going to be talking about 3 solid strategies for creating a successful and sustainable private pay practice. But first, tell us a little bit about how you developed this passion to help clinicians go the private pay route.
Well, when I first started out I think it was 26, 27 years ago, I was a rehab counselor in psychiatry. And at that time, counselors in general were not licensed in New York State. So I knew coming out of grad school that I would not be able to participate on insurance panels and that I would be 100% private pay from the start. And
Wait, hold on a second. You were wait, so you were helping out a psychiatry practice?
I was trained as a rehab counselor in psychiatry. So my mentors and the people who I interned with were psychiatrists or psychiatric nurse practitioners.
Okay.
And so when I came out into private practice on my own from grad school, I knew I would not be able to take insurances, so I had to build a private pay practice right from the very beginning.
Now, why couldn't you take insurances?
Because counselors in New York State were not licensed at that time, so the only people who could be on insurance panels were psychologists and social workers.
So PhDs, PsyDs, and those with the LCSW behind their name.
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so that's a challenge right off the bat.
Yes. And in fact, when I was licensed in 2006, I think it was when New York State got licensing, my license number is 000028, I think, something like that. Makes me feel really old. Yeah. But really, it only goes back to 2006, I promise.
One of the originals, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. I was just like, wait, hold on, I got to get context around
No
this.
problem.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, so I was in private practice, and I was all private pay, and we wanted, a friend of mine who I was in private practice with, we decided to go out on our own and rent space of our own, but we wanted to bring people in with us. And the only way to do that would be to get renters and to help them build their practices. And many of the people who came into our practice either didn't want to take insurance or they weren't able to take insurance. So I started by helping them kind of learn how to do it for themselves. And then more and more people, I was teaching at the time, so many of my students would come out and they'd want to know more about it, and it just kind of grew and grew from there.
Now, why do you think the interest was so, I mean, that's a lot of interest that you were generating, or they were interested in. What do you think that was?
When I was teaching, I was really shocked. Every time I would talk about private practice, that was the only time in the classroom would go completely silent and everybody would listen 100%. I think many of us go into our grad programs wanting to go into private practice eventually, but thinking that maybe I can't, I'll never be able to get clients. Why should people come to me? There's so many other therapists in town. So I guess anybody, including me, who put out any ray of hope that this could happen, became somebody that they wanted to listen to. And when I saw that, and I also saw so many of these people going off into work for agencies and hospitals and schools, and that's really hard work, and they were working so hard and not really being paid well, and that really bothered me. So I wanted to empower clinicians to be able to get paid for working hard and do it on their own if that was their choice.
Yeah. And what a gift. What a gift to give somebody. And especially that empowerment piece is so important. Okay, well, thanks for being on the podcast. And so let's jump into the three solid strategies that you're going to be sharing with us.
Sure, I'm happy to do it. As I said earlier, a lot of people have problem thinking that they can possibly do this kind of work. So over the years, I've done a lot of coaching, and I've done programs, I've done products, I've done one-to-one coaching, I've done group coaching, but pretty much in the last 5 or 6 years, I've really boiled it down to one way to do it, and it's a coaching program that I have, and it's a group coaching program, and it is broken down into these components, because I found that people want to learn how to bring in private pay clients. They want clients into their practice, but they aren't doing the foundational work that needs to be done so that they can sustain it. So they might, a lot of us go out and our main marketing strategy is prayer, or we drop off cards and hope that the phone's going to ring, or, we just don't know what to do. And so I really wanted to teach people to really take them back to some really more traditional marketing techniques that weren't associated with our type of industry, and to go back to the solid foundation. So these solid strategies have to do with the foundation that you need to build in order to get to the point where you can feel confident that you can not only get private pay clients now, but that you can get them for the duration of your career. I mean, I've been doing this now for almost 30 years, and it's still happening. Yeah. So that's a good thing. So we start out with that foundation, and it's pretty much broken down into, you really have to know 100% who you are, what you do, and whom you serve. Those three things.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. When you go out and you're nervous anyway, and you're going to be talking to people about what you do, if you're not really clear on who you are as a clinician, your passion, when I talk about the people that I serve, I don't have to really think about it. It just comes naturally, and I get excited, and then they get excited, right? But if I'm just going out there saying, I have this practice and it's brand new, and I'd really appreciate it if you could send me some referrals, people might be really nice, and they'll be nice to you, and they'll send you 1 or 2 people, but they're going to forget about you.
Right.
So you have to know who you are and be able to present that in a way where your passion comes through and people know that you are the person that should be associated with that thing. You need to know what your big result is. What is the big result that most of your clients get when they work with you? And it's, kind of transcends things like symptom management or, things that are more general. It's more like, are you an empowering person? Are you, what drives you, and that really comes through, and that people really benefit from when they work with you? You got to be able to know what that is and put it into words. And then you have to, right? So, and then you have to be, and then all of that together, you need to be able to speak their language, so that when you are presenting yourself and you are talking to potential clients and potential referrers, that they will hear you. We've got so much noise in the background and so many emails and so much stuff that people, they kind of, we tune out to it. But, it would be great. That's how it happens. So if I'm, for example, if I'm going to specialize in working with people who have panic disorder, for example, I could say something like, I can help you with symptom management of your anxiety. I can help you with some stress management. I can go down that path. Or I can say things, when we work together, we'll work so that you can stop canceling those plans at the last minute because it's too terrifying to leave the house.
Beautiful, right?
Or you can go to the grocery store again without leaving a cart of groceries at the back of the store as you run out the front. That's the stuff people are going to hear.
Yeah. Okay? And even and we'll help you get through the workday so you don't have to take a day off or something like that.
Exactly. Right? That's exactly it. Mm-hmm. So there are 2 ways, I think, to speak their language. You've got to know who they are. You have to know who your ideal client is. Mm-hmm. And, I think sometimes people are kind of concerned about choosing who their target market is and their ideal client within that market, because they're afraid that they won't be able to fill their books.
Right.
And it's sometimes we're just happy for somebody with a pulse in a pocketbook, and we'll put them in our book and fill it up. But we're not happy. They're not happy. We deserve better. They deserve better. So the thing is, if you really know who your ideal client is, then you are able to know a lot about them. You know what keeps them up at night. You know what they worry about constantly during the day. You know the things that are tearing them up because you've talked to them, you've worked with them, you've been around them. You just know how to communicate with them. You can relate.
Yeah.
Right. So if you can do that, that's your first step towards speaking their language.
Right. And it also like positions you as the guide, a trusted guide to actually help them.
Absolutely.
Like, because it's sort of like, this person just knows me. They know everything about me. And that kind of trust, and that's something you could do on your website or referral sources or anything. To be known to be solving that one problem is so important as you build out your brand that will be able to command private pay.
Yes. When you have an ideal client and you can tell the world who that is, though, you get a lot of benefits from that. First of all, you know where to find them because, you'll know which gatekeepers to approach that and where they hang out. They know that you specialize in them, so that makes them feel more comfortable and they want to work with you. If I had to have my gallbladder out, I'd really feel happy to go to somebody has done this a few times.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. That's right.
And it's so important to be able to know where to find them and have them know who you are and that you're for them right from the start. It starts to build the trust. People are only going to do business with you to the extent they trust you. And so we don't have a lot of time to do that in the very beginning because half the time we're not speaking their language, so they're going to ignore us, or they're going to see us as a generalist and they're going to forget about us. So you've got to make your mark. So if you can remember that you got to always be answering, I call it the big question, and that is, why should I, given all of my options, including doing nothing at all, why should I do business with you? And I always have to be thinking that way when I'm putting any information out, whether it's on a website, whether it's on my Psychology Today ad, whether I'm talking in public or even just with a small group of people. I have to believe that it's my obligation to educate the public as to why I'm the best choice for them.
That's right. Yeah. Convince me, right? Because a lot of therapists forget they're essentially in sales, especially in that fronting part. Like, they have to sell themselves. It's just not going to happen. And they don't teach you that in grad school, one inch.
Not at all. Not at all.
How do I have this line. It's like, what I do is I take their clinical skills and turn it to a brand so their ideal client will want to work with them. And the thing is they spend thousands of dollars learning these clinical skills, and not once do they teach them how to actually brand it and market that so they'll have a caseload.
Yes.
So absolutely, you got to know that ideal client. You got to be able to speak their language. You got to go to the places where they're hanging out, and you can talk to their trusted, the people that they trust, whether it's doctors or whatever it might be. I talk about, you need to be number one in their mental Rolodex. So to be known as that one person that can solve that problem for them. And if you can do that, you'll create an army of referral sources. And at the end of the day, you only need like 3 or 4 really good referral sources.
I completely agree. It's hard to convince people when they're first starting out, but I completely agree. And eventually, you really don't need any because you're getting all word of mouth referrals. All the time I get calls from people that say, my doctor, Dr. So-and-so, told me I need to come and see you, and I've never heard of Dr. So-and-so. So I know they got my name from somebody else. You know?
Well, the other thing, so we, the same thing happens with my clients, because I do a lot with like the website building. Like, I help them show up on Google when people need them. But here's the other thing. You know what doctors do? They go to Google. They're like, okay, my client is struggling with this. And if they don't have anyone in their network, they go to Google. And so that's also like another weird thing that, like, because my clients are like, I've never heard of this doctor before, but they refer to me. And I'm like, they probably found you on Google, and now you need to write them a thank you note.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's so important. I think the other thing you have to remember is that if you can remember this is really helpful, that when you're talking about what you can do for people, you really need to frame it in terms of benefits rather than features.
Yes.
I think as clinicians, oftentimes we are maybe a little concerned. Oh, why are they going to come to me? Do I have the qualifications? How many years of experience do I have compared to this other person? And you forget that all people really want to know is, what can you do for me? Mm-hmm. That's in their mind all the time. What can you do for me? And if you're not answering that question in the conversation with them, they're going to glaze over. They're going to not think that you're for them. And it's not going to work. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. And clinicians also fall into the trap of psychobabble, where they're like, oh, we could do bibliotherapy, or we could do psychosomatic, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, they're like, I don't care. Can you help me?
Exactly.
I don't care about any of that.
Any
Can my kid actually go to school for the day? Will he stop hitting the neighbor's kids? Will I be able to actually connect with my spouse? All those things. And
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fascinating. We were working with an intern, and I was like the guinea pig for an intake session. And they started talking about just psychobabble, and I work with therapists all the time, but I found myself like, this doesn't matter to me at all. I just want to know if she can help my son.
Right, exactly.
And all they have to do is say, I see you. I see it's really hard to parent during this time, but I can help them. We'll work on ways so they don't hit the neighbor's kid.
Right.
Just very, very simple. They don't need to know how the sausage is made. They just want to know if you can help them.
Yes.
So, sorry, I went on a tangent there.
That's not. It's not really. You're right on. You're spot on with it. And I think, especially when people are starting out, they think, well, maybe I need this certification, or maybe I should take that other training so I can put these letters after my name. And people aren't looking at that stuff. They just want to know, can you help me? They're in pain. They're in trouble. They're in distress, many different things, bad, not so great things, that they just want to know, can you help me?
Yeah.
So if you're talking about the features, I can see you on Saturdays, and I've got 10 years experience, and I've got this training and that training. That's all well and good. Put it on your CV, put it on your About Me page somewhere, kind of. But you got to be able to always be answered. Even in your About Me page, it has to be about them, how you're benefiting them. You can talk about your features in terms of benefits to them. And when I say them, it's not only your potential clients, it's your potential referrers as well. Okay, yes. So you got to think about that. And if you're talking about benefits for a client with panic disorder, the benefits are going to be, you're going to talk about clinical benefits and things that are, how their life is going to be better when they're not ruled by panic attacks. But if you go to the physician's office, where you'll find a lot of those people, and you'll get referrals from them, you're not going to be talking about that. You got a physician who is overworked, not knowing who to refer people to in the community, overwhelmed. They don't have any time to deal with the psychological stuff because they've got to focus on the physical. So the benefits that you've got to give to them is, look, all you need to do is give my number to your patient, and if I can't see them, I'm happy to provide them with a couple of referrals into the community. Boom, boom, boom. They're happy. They're covered. You're sending them a follow-up letter, when you do see their people, so you can cover their butts in their charts. Yes. That's how you benefit them.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That is, I hope the listeners are taking really good notes on that part, because being able to work with referral sources and give them assurance and make them feel like they can trust you is going to be so powerful. It's going to be a wonderful thing for your practice.
Yep.
So, okay, I feel like we covered a lot there on building that solid foundation on ideal clients and how to work with referral sources, talking about the things that what you're actually selling is peace of mind, confidence, being able to get to work, all those things. You're not so much selling your clinical skills, but the things the end results, what you help them with. So let's jump on to the second point.
Sure. In order for you to go out and talk about these things and actually think about them for yourself with any confidence, you have to look at any mindset traps that you might have from your past, from your present, from your experience of the world. You know, I oftentimes when I'm coaching therapists, they're afraid to charge for no-shows. They're afraid to raise their fees. They're afraid really to talk about private pay because they feel guilty. They feel that somehow helping people and making a lot of money are mutually exclusive. Yes. And I think we are socialized to do that. I think in our grad programs, unless you're in a program to be an MD, I believe that we are trained that we are servants, and we are taught that, you know, you help people and we won't talk about money.
Yeah. Or burnout is an honorable way to go.
Yeah. You go down with the ship and we will give you a trophy for that. Posthumously, of course.
That's right. That's right.
Right. So we get caught up though because we're brought up in the world and we have experiences, and maybe we've been brought up in poverty. Maybe we've been brought up in families where you don't talk about anybody else's money. Maybe you're brought up in a way where, you know, you can't say no to people. Or you don't feel comfortable saying no. It's okay to have all those kinds of mindsets as long as you're aware that they exist and you're working on them, and you try to really make sure you have it under control when you're doing your business, because it'll blow your business apart. If you don't believe that you deserve to be paid well, then you won't be paid well.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, and one of the greatest gifts anyone can give another clinician is you can charge more and it's okay. Like, you're worth it. Like, you are worth $150 an hour, because if that couple doesn't get help, they're going to end up in litigation and lose houses and cars and everything else, right? Like, like, you are worth that. And and that is, my wife and I have done that for a few therapists, and they've come back weeks later like, thank you so much for that. I raised my prices. I can make ends meet. You know, it's like, and you're right. There's this mindset where you kind of, it sounds like you have to live in poverty if you're going to be a clinician. And that's not the case. And that's not good for you for the long term.
That's right. Or for them, because you won't be there for them.
That's right.
You'll be out of business. And there are two things I can talk about with regard to value. One is when I was mentoring with Michael Port. Michael Port's one of my mentors that I trained with. And Michael talks a lot about FEPS benefits, the financial, emotional, spiritual, and physical benefits that people get from working with you. And some of these things, this person isn't going to end their lives. This marriage isn't going to end. This child is going to be able to go back to school. When you think about these are just, you can't put a dollar figure on those things.
Right.
You just can't.
Right.
The fact that this person is going to be able to go back to work, this person is going to be able to physically be able to go to the gym again so they can be healthier, they're going to be able to be around people again so that they can feel a spiritual connection again to the world. You know, those are things you can't put a dollar figure on. So when you're having trouble with thinking about how valuable you are, you think about those things. But it's very important to remember that you do not have to justify your fees. Your client has to justify your fees. Okay?
Yeah, say that again.
You don't have to justify your fees. Your client has to justify your fees. Your client, if I go to the store and I'm looking for an item and I see 2 or 3 of them and they're different prices, I'm going to look and I'm going to think which one is more valuable to me that I'm willing to pay the price. And that's what the client's going to do too. So your responsibility in helping them justify your fees is you have to give them the information they need to determine that you are the best choice.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, because you think about, like, do I buy the organic bananas or the regular bananas, and I'm going to pay 20 cents more per banana? Now, why? What can I do to justify? Like, what is the reasoning? That's really fast. So you can almost reverse that on yourself as you look at your website or whatever. Am I actually helping my clients justify the value that I'm providing as is attached to this fee, this dollar amount?
And the only way to do that is for you to educate them about the value that you provide.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
It's your responsibility to do that. You know, if you really feel that you're meant to serve the people that you're meant to serve, then you have a responsibility to let them know you're there for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to feel bad about calling on referral sources. You don't have to feel bad about telling people how you can help them. You don't have to feel bad about educating them as to why you're the right choice for them. It's your responsibility to do that, because otherwise they're not going to have the opportunity to work with you.
Yeah. I have nothing else to add to that.
Okay.
That was so good.
Well,
is there anything you want to add to that one?
No, there were just a couple of other mindsets that, I just wanted to mention quickly, because we could talk about mindset all day, but
yes.
People need to get past the scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
People are afraid there aren't enough clients. I'll never fill my book. I've got 50 clinicians within a 1 mile radius of me. Okay, let me tell you just one thing from my experience in life. There are more than enough clients to go around.
Yeah.
There will always be way more clients than we could all serve. And we're seeing it now.
Yeah.
Right?
COVID, the pandemic is going to provide enough clients for the next 5 years.
Yes.
I mean, it's a huge collective traumatic event.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So scarcity mindset needs to really be put in check if you know that you have that in your mind. Also, this is not a competition. I don't care if there are 50 people down the street, because I get excited about that, because I can be a really good source of referral for those 50 people. Mm-hmm. And they can be great places for me to refer family members of my clients and et cetera. So we should be working together and collaborating, and not feeling there's any competition whatsoever.
That's right, and that builds a lot of goodwill between other therapists that you're referring to, because
Absolutely.
you have your ideal client, right? You start with one. These are the only people I work with, and so if they're not in that category, then I'm going to refer them to other trusted sources, and that just does a lot for building your network.
It really does.
So true. So true.
Yep. And then the other thing is, you're not bothering anybody. I think we think, that doctor's really busy. I really don't know if I should make that phone call. We have a group practice, so I think we have 14 or 15 clinicians in our group, and there's nobody in our group is taking new people right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I just picked up my messages, and I had 8 calls, and there were 6 new clients, and this is like almost every day.
Yeah.
So I'm putting out, easily putting out 300-400 referrals into the community outside of our practice every single year. And if I don't know who you are, shame on you, because I can't refer to you. I'm thrilled if I get information from people and say, hey, I'm an eating disorder specialist, hey, I see couples, I do this, that, I'm like so excited, because I am desperate for these resources. So if you think that you're in the way, you're not bothering anybody, and your time is just as important as theirs. Don't drop in on them. Can I just say that? Don't drop in on people, not for any other reason except you have to position yourself. If you're dropping in on people, what are they going to think? They're going to think, geez, doesn't this person have anything better to do? No, you've got to position yourself. That's all about this. If you want to fill your practice with private pay clients, they need to know how valuable you are, and they need to be thinking, oh my God, she's so busy. I don't want to waste her time. I don't want to bother her. Be aware of the positioning.
Love it.
Those are the kind of mindsets. Is there the abundance? Of course, there's an abundance there. There's an abundance in the world. There's an abundance of people to serve. There is no doubt. And if you are, part of your ideal client, part of the definition of your ideal client is a person who is able and willing to pay you privately. Yes. So, that's just part of the definition of your ideal client if you want a private pay practice. And you don't have to feel ashamed of that, because people with money, or people who are willing to spend that money, they have problems too, and they really need your help.
Yeah.
And there are people who are willing to work 8 hours a day to sit with you for 45 minutes.
Right, because they value that. They see that that's actually going to give them life.
Yes, I never, ever have problems about talking about money. I never have problems talking about that with people who don't have money. Those kinds of conversations come from people with money. So I wouldn't worry about it. And also, let me just, can I just throw one more thing in there?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I get going on this thing. If you're looking to raise your fees, if your book is full and you've got 10 people on a waiting list, please raise your fees. And if you're worried about raising your fees by $20, going from $130 to $150, if somebody's paying you $130, they're going to pay you $150. And if they don't need to justify $150, they just need to justify $20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
right.
You're thinking $150 when they're thinking, oh, it's $20.
Yeah. I got a short story about this. Actually, it's
Okay,
a really
good.
great story, not a short. So my wife, she raised her fees even more, and she's sending it. So we wrote out an email. We weren't justifying it. We're just saying, hey, everybody, we're going to, those fees, whatever. And, there's a lot of anxiety around that because it was a significant jump. Mm-hmm. No one quit. In fact, she actually got a couple emails back saying, thank you for all that you do for my kid.
Isn't that nice? It's so nice. And people are sincere about that stuff. That's a great story.
Yeah. And there wasn't like any blowback, like, how could you greedy person, blah, blah, blah. It was all like, thank you, or nothing. Just like, all right.
Yeah, no problem. And then the thing is that people aren't going to mind that, and you don't have to feel bad about it. Sometimes people will hear me talk about this stuff and they'll say, "Oh my goodness, that's all you think about is money." It's all no. If you want, if the more you make in your private pay fee, if you want to open up 1 or 2 or 3 pro bono spots in your week, every week, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can take some of your money and you can share it with people. You can, take care of your family.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people sit and they think, especially clients, they might sit with you and they might be paying you $150 and they're saying, oh, she's probably seeing 8 people a day times 5 days a week. And but they're not thinking about, and she lives in New York State, so there's 45% that goes to taxes between
that's
state and federal taxes. And then there's rent. And, they don't think about all this stuff. And they don't need to, your stuff's not their problem. But don't get lost in that. Don't be worried that they're thinking. Don't worry about what they think.
Yeah. You're not responsible for their emotions.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you. Well, before we go on, I want to let the listeners know that there's a good chance that your website is probably losing you potential clients. As a digital marketer who specializes in mental health professionals, I have seen a lot of therapy websites that confuse potential clients. When they land on your website, potential clients often don't know what you do, how you can help them, or even the first step to just get started with your services. And when you confuse, you lose. Confusion is the number one enemy of your website and your marketing. So I put together this simple guide, 5 website items every private practice needs. Look, if you want to turn your website into a 24/7 sales engine, go to brandyourpractice.com/blog. That's brandyourpractice.com/blog, and it's right there at the top of the page. If you implement just a few of these website tips on your homepage, you will eliminate confusion, and your ideal client will want to schedule an appointment with you. And there's a good chance your website isn't doing that for you right now, but it can today. Go to brandyourpractice.com/blog and download the PDF today. All right, well, let's jump into the final tip for us. This has been such a wonderful conversation.
Oh, thanks. I'm enjoying it too. I love talking about all this with you, Brent. It's great. Okay, so we want to have that solid foundation. We want to have a solid mindset. And then you also need to have a solid plan, because you don't want to spend your entire week thinking about marketing. We're clinicians. We want to help people. We want to spend our time with people and with our families and the stuff we like to do. Mm-hmm. So in order to make your marketing more efficient, it's important to really have some good strategies and plans of how you're going to reach out and how you're going to make that most effective. It's really important to know where you're going to find your ideal clients. You got to think about, where am I going to find these people? Where do they hang out? What do they read? What social media platforms are they on? What kind of doctors do they go to? Are they seeing attorneys? Is it the schools that I'm going to find these people? Because you think about, your gatekeepers, who are the people that can get you in front of a lot. They can send you to clients. Gatekeeper might be, if we go back to the panic disorder example, it would probably psychiatrists, OBGYNs, primary docs, those kinds of things you're going to see. Those are your gatekeepers. Mm-hmm. But there are also what I call key players, and that would be somebody who, for maybe is an editor of the family section of your local newspaper, who might be able to get you in front of a lot of people. They might not be able to refer people to you, but they can get you in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, you could write an article for them. They're always
Absolutely.
Looking for
Always.
Content.
Yes.
Okay, so another quick side. Sorry for the interruption, but
No.
this is a really fun tip. So, find your local newspaper, have a blog on your website, write a few things, because what happens, especially for my wife's practice, they said, "Hey, I went on your blog, I found this article, I think it's a great fit. Could we use it for our newspaper?" And you're like, "Yes, please."
Yes.
Right away.
As long as I can put "as seen in XYZ newspaper" on my website. Thank you very much.
I actually got to think about that now, because maybe I should do that on the...
Oh, you have to.
Cool.
Yeah, you have to do that. It's great.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, keep going.
All right. So you got to know where to find them. You have to also know when to find them. For example, if I was working with kids, and we've had many clinicians in our practice who have, so I'll do some of the marketing for the practice, and I'll market to schools, but I usually do that around August. Our schools start beginning of September, and just sent out just like a little email to the school counselors and the psychologists and say, "Look, I know the floodgates are about to open, and I know it's going to be a heck of a year. I just want to remind you to breathe and know that I'm here when you need me."
Beautiful.
Simple.
Yeah.
They're so appreciative. Or to reach out to that family community center or the family center within the school district, and to say, "I know that school year is about ready to start. You're probably putting together your programming for your behavioral health staff. Can I help you out with a lunch and learn? Is there a topic that you'd like to present to them that I can help you out with, so you can take it off your desk?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that you have to think about. When is a good time to do this? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I was going. One thing that we do too, on top of that, those are such good ideas. Is we'll just write them thank you notes. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for your work in the community. Mm-hmm. We know this has been a really difficult year, and we value the work you do with the kids in our schools.
Yes, isn't that awesome?
You could just do that, right?
Oh, yeah, and feel good about it.
Yeah, it's very genuine.
It's very genuine.
Don't include your business card then.
No,
just write them a thank you note.
I don't give anybody a business card unless they ask for one. I don't.
Yeah.
It's just, it's if you can have anything, have a rat card in your office, or if people ask for stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah. You gotta know.
I interrupted you there.
That's okay. That's okay. I was just thinking about what you said, because those are good points. I mean, it's just really important to remember you're coming from a heart of service. You want to help. How can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you? That's what I'm always thinking when I'm thinking about how am I going to reach out. Because you might get really nervous about, oh, I feel so uncomfortable sending these emails or these letters. I feel so uncomfortable following up. But if you can just remind yourself, look, they need to have somebody to refer to. I want to know how I can help them. That will help calm you, so that you can then go out and say that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
If someone calls you and says, do you take my insurance? The first thing I say is, well, before we get into the business end of things, can you just give me a brief idea of what you're looking for in counseling, so I know if I'm the right person for you? And it's like, whoa, they don't know what to do with that, because they didn't know that was the most important question.
Yeah. And even let's just back up. Let's just say even answering the phone or returning phone calls.
Yes.
Most therapists don't. We don't. From my clients all the time, we make sure we have an intake process in place. And they'll say, you're the first therapist to call me back, and I've called 15 of them.
That is so embarrassing to me. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I just feel so embarrassed for our profession when I hear that. And I get it. I get being so early. But even if it has to be on the voicemail for you to say, I'm sorry, I'm not taking new clients right now.
Yeah. And I don't return phone calls.
Yeah. It's like, why do you have a phone number if you just don't return them? Well, we could go on that forever too.
But it's the thing is, it's low hanging fruit, right?
Yes.
So if this is kind of a norm in mental health, just returning phone calls,
Yes.
just means so much. Like, it just says, I hear you, I see you, you're actually important to me. Before I even know you, I'm taking time to return this phone call.
Yes. And I can't even tell you how many private pay clients I've gotten because they said, I've put out so many phone calls to people who take my insurance and I don't get any phone calls back. I want to make an appointment with you. I don't care if I have to pay out of pocket if you can see me.
They are now justifying the value, right?
Because they can be seen.
Yeah. That you just actually are professional enough to return the phone call and see if you're even a good fit for them.
I know. I know.
Yeah, returning phone calls, that should just be part of your marketing strategy.
You would think so. You would think so. Yes.
Yeah, what else? We've been talking about plans for outreach and referrals and things like that. Anything else?
Yes. So you also need to know what they need and desire. Remember, you're going back to what keeps them up at night. What are they excited about? What do they desperately need more than anything else? You've got to know that stuff in order to reach out so that you have something to say to them. Right? And it's okay to say, I can only imagine how busy you are running this practice of yours with all these folks with all kinds of medical issues. I can only imagine how overwhelming it is when anxiety and depression and everything else gets in the way. Tell me what else. Tell me what else gets in the way of you making the kind of referrals you want to make in the community.
Yeah.
Just ask them and they'll tell you.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be able to share then who you know, like you said, you're going to just write a card once in a while saying, thanks so much for the work that you do. Or maybe I know that a particular referrer of mine likes to play golf and I hear about a new golf course that's opening up in town. I'll write a note and I'll say, hey, did you hear such and such is opening, January or June 1st. It's just a really nice thing to do, to be able to introduce people. I will call somebody who is a referrer of mine and I'll say, I was just thinking that you might have a lot in common with or could benefit from knowing so such and such. How would you feel about me making an introduction? And they're like, oh yeah, that's great.
Wow.
And I'll do that, and they're so grateful. And what I do is I just send an email, include both of them, and I just literally say, hey, Joe, this is John. John does blah, 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 and I thought you guys would do well to talk to each other. John, this is Joe, and I know Joe by blah, blah, blah. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Take care. And then I just put it out.
Oh, that's huge.
They love it.
Wow.
And they know you care about them because you want to show, you can share what you can share, articles, you can share things for the patients, to keep in the waiting room, but you can also share that you care. You can share people that you know and want to be that connector. Yeah. Because when people say no to you, they don't really mean no most of the time. You just haven't given them enough reason to say yes yet.
Yeah.
So don't be shy. Don't give up too quickly. People say, well, I called on that person and I never got one referral. And I say to them, how many times did you call on them? Well, I called on once. I didn't want to bother them. Well, okay. Well, you're not bothering them, but you're also not giving them any reason whatsoever to remember you.
That's true.
At all.
Yeah.
So find out what they need to know in order to say yes.
Yes. And I think that's absolutely right, and you need to make it a part of your monthly or weekly schedule flow as a practice owner. Set some time to write cards. Is it once a month? Is it once a week? Those small little things, those little touch points are so important. It doesn't take much time. It just takes some intentionality, and it could just do so much for your practice.
Yeah, and one last tip on doing it, you can do it as a part of the every day. For example, I'll have a client that I share with a psychiatrist. I know they're going to see them in a couple of weeks. I'll just I'll print out a copy of my note for the day. I'll write the note knowing the psychiatrist is going to read it. I will, print out the note and I'll just handwrite on there. Just wanted to share this with you. I knew you were following up with them next week. Thanks so much. And then I just fax it to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes a second to do, a few seconds.
Yeah. No, that's great because that also builds trust. Like, oh, this person's responsible, this person's thoughtful. And you as the clinician are now they're remembering you because of those really good interactions.
Yes. And it shows you appreciate them. I appreciate my referrers so much. I have people who have been referring to me for almost 30 years. It's incredible. I am so grateful for those people. I'm so grateful for the clients that they've sent me and the opportunities that they've given me to help those people.
Yeah. Well, I know talking with my clients that going private pay is such a massive mindset. And we talked about it's a mindset thing for them to get over and know that it's okay on the other side. And so we talked about some tactics and things, how to do that. But I'm curious as we close out, like, how can they get in touch with you? Because I imagine the majority of the work that you do with practice owners is on the mindset, is just not just the strategic plan, but how to actually think about it and move forward. So how can they find out more about your services there?
Thanks. I think the easiest thing I can do is offer it. I have a free training online. They just go to privatepaypractice.com. And if you go there, there's a free training there, and then you'll start getting the emails. And you'll get to know about, I think the training is pretty good. It was fun to do, and you'll learn more about the group that I offer.
Oh, great. So trainings, and that's probably why you say maybe it's a good fit. If you want to take the next step, there might be a coaching group or something after that.
Yep.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we have a great group. I love it. It's a group coaching where there's a training that involves a lot of this stuff, and it's a really comprehensive training. But it also has a group element to it in like a private Facebook group, and then we meet for one-to-one coaching session. The group does every Thursday at noon, and I've had people come into that group meeting for over 2 years now.
Wow.
They just keep coming because they get so much out of it. It's so supportive. You know how it is when you're with other clinicians. It's great.
You need it. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for joining me on the podcast today. All right, folks, thanks for listening. If you found the conversation useful, subscribe to the podcast, and please join me next time for the Brand Your Practice podcast.